I took a DNA test and I'm 100% confused. This actually happens more than you'd probably think. And a lot of times it's because when we set out to be genealogists, we didn't know we'd be asked to be geneticists as well. A lot of us didn't realize that we'd have to learn so much science and be DNA experts in order to find evidence to help with our genealogies. Now, I'm not going to ask you to be a geneticist here either. In fact, I'm going to try to give you some pointers that don't require you to learn all of the genetic details of how DNA helps us with our genealogies. If you do want to know these details, though, I'll point you to a helpful resource at the end of this demo that can go into as much detail as you want to on that subject. But first, since I don't know what DNA test you've taken and where you're confused, let me start by recapping the 3 different types of DNA testing that are available today. I'll use this diagram that represents your family tree going back 5 generations. This goes back to your 32 great-great-great-grandparents. It starts with you at the bottom. In this case, I've represented a male because they also take a Y-DNA, because they can get their Y-DNA tested. But for women, they could do either autosomal or mitochondrial DNA. But first, of course, starting with the most common test, we have autosomal DNA testing, like Family Tree DNA's Family Finder. This covers all your ancestral lines, although your matches are all mixed together, and you have to figure out which matches share which ancestors with you. It commonly delivers a lot of matches to you, and you have to spend time researching their family trees and figuring out how you match. With very distant matches, that can be difficult because sometimes the records don't exist to tell you who your common ancestors were, but it's still possible, and a lot of people do that very successfully. There are also 2 other types of DNA tests, namely mitochondrial DNA testing, which reports only DNA that you've inherited from your matrilineal line, which means the one line that you have that includes only mothers, so your mother's 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 mother, and so on. And of course, the converse is Y-DNA testing, which, if you're a male, reports only DNA that you inherited from your patrilineal line, meaning the one line that you have that includes only fathers. Now, both men and women inherit mitochondrial DNA from their mothers, but only men have a Y chromosome, so only men inherit Y DNA and can test for it. However, for women who are researching their genealogies, it's very common for them to ask their brothers or uncles or male cousins or any other male who carries the right Y DNA line to test for them, and so they can still research their Y DNA ancestry using those tests. Now, Family Tree DNA offers all 3 tests, and they give you different information about these different lines of your ancestry. Autosomal testing, or the green in this picture, is what gives you your ethnicity percentages. But you don't inherit autosomal DNA from all of your ancestors. After only about 5 or 6 generations, there are ancestors that you didn't inherit DNA from, like the ones shown here at 5 generations. Typically, that might start at 6 or 7 or sometimes even back farther, but normally, at least at some point in that range of generations, you'll start not inheriting DNA from certain of your ancestors. On the other hand, Y-DNA and mitochondrial DNA can tell you about ancestors going back into prehistoric times that you share with other matches, back in time frames when we're never going to find out those ancestors' names, even if they had them. So there are differences between the types of DNA testing. And if I take the Family Tree DNA tools as an example, that means that they give us information about our ancestry in different ways. So if you took a Family Finder test, for instance, on your dashboard at Family Tree DNA, you'll have a box for the tools that you can use to understand your autosomal DNA results. Those include the match tools that help you explore your connections with other testers who share autosomal segments with you, autosomal DNA segments with you. So those are standard match tools that allow you to explore your autosomal DNA matches. You also get chromosome tools that help you explore the DNA segments themselves if you're interested in the scientific details and the chromosome details behind your results. And you also get origin tools that show you ethnicity percentages and help you look at ancient populations that match most closely to your autosomal DNA. So you can choose the tools that allow you to explore the sides of your results that you're most interested in. If you've taken either the big Y700 or the Y-DNA STR tests at Family Tree DNA, you'll get a dashboard that looks differently. Now, if you've tested both, you'll get both of these dashboards. But if you test your Y-DNA, you'll get, first of all, some match tools that help you explore your connections. Again, but this time with other testers whose Y-DNA is very close to yours, along with the mutation differences that separate you. You'll also get haplotree, SNP, and STR tools that help you explore the specific mutations in your branch of the Y-DNA haplotree. So these are more scientific results that help you understand the mutations and the ones that you share and the ones that are different between you and your matches. And you'll also get the migration tools that help you see your male line connections to ancient population migrations and trace your Y-DNA line as it migrated over the planet in ancient times. And finally, if you've taken the MT full sequence, the family tree DNA mitochondrial DNA test, you'll get, again, match tools that help you explore your connections to other testers who have close mitochondrial DNA to yours. You'll get a mutation tool that helps you look at the specific mitochondrial DNA mutations you have. And you'll also get migration tools that help you explore your connections to ancient population migrations based on your mitochondrial DNA. So with all these tools, you just need to pick the ones that will help you most based on the questions you have and the interests you have about exploring your DNA results. A lot of people are interested specifically in genealogy, and they will spend most of their time probably understanding and using the match tools because those help them reconstruct the ancestors that connect them to the different matches. And you can put your genealogy knowledge together with those matches to help you understand where you connect, and maybe they have information that you don't have or vice versa, and you can learn more about each other's genealogies. And then people who are more interested in ethnicity will use those autosomal tools, and the people interested in their ancestry back in prehistoric times will use the Y-DNA and the mitochondrial DNA migration tools that help with that analysis. And finally, those people who are interested in the details of the DNA results themselves can look at the detailed mutations and chromosome tools and the haplotree tools and the SNPs and STRs on the Y-DNA side and the mutations on the mitochondrial DNA side that show that level of detail. So while all of these tools and all of these results can be a little overwhelming, you can also focus on the tools that give you the specific detail that you need to get the specific information that helps you the most and answers your most burning questions. And then, of course, don't forget that we also have the Family Tree DNA Help Center available from the banner on any Family Tree DNA website screen that you can access to give you an organized set of information about the tests, about your results, about how to read them, plus links to an entire community of experienced users, links to books and videos, and lots of other tips and resources. And if you've joined projects, don't forget to lean on the project administration volunteers who run those projects, because they can usually look at your specific DNA results and give you on-the-spot help customized to your exact situation, and even sometimes understand your genealogy enough to help you with your connections with other matches. If you'd like a specific book recommendation, I'd say there's several that could help you, but I'd start with this one, which is The Complete Guide to Family Tree DNA by Roberta Estes, available on genealogical.com. She goes into every tool and option available on the Family Tree DNA website in much more detail than I can give you here.